Hello, I'm Paulie, and this is going to be a review of the Canon Ixus 100 IS. But first, come back in time with me. We're going on a little flashback so I can set this series up properly. Picture this. We start this journey on a very rare occasion. I'd actually left the house and gone to a coffee shop to work on my edits like the cliche that I am. All was going well, I was working very hard. After a while, a lady I knew walked in. We said hello and I asked her to come and join me. We got chatting about all sorts, and eventually I decided to show her the pictures I was working on. At first I was delighted when she said, "Oh Paulie, this is amazing, this is lovely." But then I came crashing back down to reality when she said, "You must have a really good camera to take pictures like this." Naturally, I was fuming, so I threw a coffee in her face and came back home to my safe space where I could cry in peace for the next several days. Now, to my surprise, whilst gazing at my own reflection in the small lake of tears I'd managed to create, I had an epiphany. From now on, I'll only shoot with rubbish cameras. So, with my good intentions drenched in bitterness, I invite you to join me as I embark on this quest to see if I can still take good pictures with cheap cameras. Let's get into it.
It's Paulie!
Right, so this is the Canon Ixus 100 IS, also known as the Canon Powershot SD780 IS. It is classified as an ultra compact camera, which basically means it's really small. It only weighs 155 grams, or if you're American, that's 5.5 ounces. It's got a 12.1 megapixel sensor, and that sensor is a CCD sensor, not a CMOS sensor. That is important to some people. People say that CCD sensors look more filmic than CMOS sensors, and from using this camera, I actually agree with that. And especially after you put the images through some post-processing, you can really make them look quite filmic, which is great. It has 3 times optical zoom. It's got optical image stabilization, which I actually found to be really good, especially when shooting video with this thing. Talking of video, it only shoots 720p HD video, which is rubbish to be honest. Spoiler alert, but just use your phone. Unless you're going for that sort of like retro, early noughties feel with it, I wouldn't bother with the video. I wouldn't bother with it. I'd just shoot with your phone. It has a 2.5 inch LCD screen, which was brilliant. And little fun fact for you, as of 2009, this was the slimmest camera that Canon had ever made. It is very slim. I don't know the measurement, but it's about the same as my fingers. My hands are pretty small, so there you go. Price. How much does this thing cost? How many bones is this little pocket rocket gonna set you back? I didn't pay anything for this. I've sort of stolen it from my mum, if I'm being honest, but a friend of mine picked one up the other day off eBay for £13.50. I have the eBay tab open here. I'm just on sold and I'm on used, so that it's not coming up with broken ones, so I can tell you exactly what they're selling for at the moment. We've got 15 quid, 21 quid, £11, £10, 25, 30, 18, 28. So yeah, basically I would say I wouldn't pay any more than 30 for it, just because you won't have to. There's going to be plenty available for less than that, and if you're patient, you'll probably be able to pick one up for 20 quid, or maybe even less if you're lucky. First impressions, this thing feels great. It is a metal construction on the front and the back. It doesn't flex at all. It feels solid. It feels dense inside, like it's like fully packed with the 2009's latest technology. It's like the perfect weight. I can't tell you how much 155 grams is in other things. I have no comparison for it, but it feels like the perfect weight for something of this size. The buttons are quite small, I'm going to tell you now. They're plastic as well, but they do have a really good sort of click to them. The screen is an LCD screen, but this thing performs brilliant. The zoom is placed just next to the shutter button. There's sort of a ring around it, and the spring in it is really nice. It's super easy to use. It's like the perfect amount of resistance in it, and it zooms at a really good speed as well. Some cameras I find zoom really quickly, and it's so hard to get it to the point where you actually want it, this zooms perfectly fast. It feels like it's fast, but while giving you enough time to stop it at where you actually want it, you know? Apart from that, all we've got is a little flap here where you've got your HDMI and AV outs, and the flap which holds the battery and the SD card in on the bottom. This does feel a bit cheap. It feels a bit flimsy, it sort of rattles, but as soon as it's locked in, it's fine. You know, it doesn't rattle anymore, it's all good. I think the whole thing feels pretty rugged, it's a really good size, and yeah, it just is good, solid, yeah. Right, so I've been using this thing for the past couple of days. I've shot with it at a bunch of different types of places, and I think that this thing's performed really well. I'll show you the pictures on the screen later on. I've got a little shoot diary, little bit thing coming up. But no, it worked really well. The screen is brilliant. Even in like middle of the day, outside, direct sunlight shining on it, I could see everything. You can see the pictures really well. I had no trouble navigating the menus, of which there aren't many. But yeah, the screen, top notch, brilliant stuff. The battery I found to be really good. It didn't die on me on any days. In fact, I think the first 2 days I shot with it without recharging it, which had the potential to go really badly, but it didn't. This thing kept charged brilliantly. The flash is amazing. It's like the perfect amount of light just to sort of fill the subject in daylight. Now, my one issue with it is how long it takes to take the picture after you push the shutter button. I can give you an example of how long it takes. Here it is. So we've got 1, 2, so it's just over 2 seconds, and I'm going to say like that's average. That you're going to get that every time. I took this thing I shot a wedding with it, I took it to another event, and I took it out for some street photography, and unfortunately they're all the kind of scenarios where you're not directing people aren't waiting around for you, they're just going about their lives. So many times I had the picture on the screen, I could see it, it was all lined up, it was perfect, it was ready to go. I pushed the button, and by the time it took the picture, everyone had dispersed, I missed the shot. Half the time I put the camera down and it's just like pictures of my feet. No, that was a real letdown, to be honest. I think my goal for this coming series, because I'm going to be reviewing more of these, is to find a camera that takes pictures as nice as this, quickly. That would really be the holy grail of what I'm looking for, I think. Hopefully we find it. I have no idea yet.
Right, I've just seen that the sun is out and the sky is grey. So I'm going to get Ed, if you can stand there for me. Let's get this picture. Get up here. Let's go.
this thing a Paulie rating out of 10. Then I'm going to show you the footage that I've taken with this so you can see what the video is like. Now, the rating. This thing would have been really high. I think the usability is brilliant. I think the build quality is brilliant. I think the pictures it takes are gorgeous. But that one thing of how long it takes to take the picture is such a letdown for me, and I think almost a deal breaker. I probably won't be taking this out with me for street photography or events or stuff. Maybe if I'm going to a party or to the pub, you know, I can get some cool pictures with friends as long as they're like aware that the camera takes a minute and they can hold their poses for a little bit longer. It'll be all good. But it does drag the rating down quite a bit. And I was going to give this thing like a 9, but I'm probably going to give it a 7. Maybe a 7.5. Let's give it a 7.5 because all of the other aspects are really, really good. So yeah, Paulie rating, 7.5 out of 10. That's what this is getting. Now with all of that done, we've rated it, we've done all that. I'm going to show you the footage that this thing takes in a second. That's going to be a sort of outro. So until then, I'm going to say goodbye. I will be reviewing more cameras like these. I think I'm going to do any camera that I can get hold of that is digital and costs less than 50 quid. That's going to be the setup for this series, I think. So if you feel like you might want to watch something like that, feel free to subscribe. If you don't worry about it. Yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Cool. See you later.
This video. Oh.